hotel. You know that I'ma be all these drip got you as a Okay, so today I did a lace front wig install on my ex's mom, and yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it.
Oh my God! I'm gonna edit you. I promise. I promise. Our face is so fat, the world. But my face no, you know what? Too. You don't have to edit me. I'm somebody, mama. I'll be all right. You know what the caption gonna be? What? Installing the lace front wig on my ex's mom. On Mother's Day. For Mother's Day. Yep, for Mother's Day. Yeah, they gonna be like that dirty bitch.
Okay, so right here I already had put the wig cap on her head and put the first layer of glue and glued it down. And so right now what I'm doing is just putting hair oil in her hair just to keep her scalp oily and to make sure that her edges are not dried out from the glue that I'm going to be applying and everything, because I know that with Got to Be Glued there is issues with it taking out your edges and just issues with it not being the best product for when applying wigs. But for me, I personally don't have that many issues. As long as you don't put Got to Be Glued on your edges, you really shouldn't have a problem. And then yeah, that's just that. And she did get her hair from Love Me Hair. I actually have tried Love Me Hair in the past, and it is really good hair. Love Me Hair comes with essential things like with the hair you'll need, like tweezers, the band for your edges, just a few items that is essential for like installing a wig. And then it also comes with an instruction on how to care for the wig itself. But the hair itself is actually really good. It doesn't shed as much. It doesn't have a funky smell to it. And it just has like that soft, good, lovely feel to it that you will want your natural wig to have. So yeah, right here I'm just showing you guys all what came in Love Me Hair packet. It actually does have a good variety of things that you're going to need. Like I said, the box itself was actually really good and sturdy. It wasn't like when you deliver it in the ups it's gonna get smushed or anything. But yeah, it was really good. Ugh, okay, don't mind me laughing so deep because, like, but me and my ex-mom is, like, really close. Like, it's crazy. Me and her is, like, really, really close. I don't even like her son, but me and her is, like, really close. So when we talk or hang around each other, just good vibes and laughs and things like that. So this hair install was actually just fun, and it was just good vibes and things. We just chilling, as you guys could see. If you notice, you notice. Okay, so after I finish cutting off the extra excess pieces of the wig cap, I do go in with my Got to Be Glued styling gel, and I just place this along all the rims of the wig cap itself just to make sure it holds it down securely and that none of the wig cap pieces have any fly ups or anything like that, because the wig cap itself, after the spray, it holds, but it doesn't give it that secure hold that you're going to need for applying your wig. I mean, you can do that with the got to be glued, but it's gonna be after you sprayed it about 3 times and blow dried it about 3 times, and that's just a long process. So what I do is I do 1 layer of the got to be glued spray, or maybe 2 if it's really needed, and then I'll go in with this styling gel always. Okay, so if most of you guys don't know, so when you do order a wig, you do have to, if it doesn't come pre-plugged and pre everything else, but if it doesn't come pre-plugged thing, you guys need to, this is mandatory, you guys have to plug the hair itself for yourself, because if you don't, the hair itself is going to look so bulky around the edges, and on you it's just not going to be natural. So that's basically what I'm doing. My client didn't know that either. She was looking a little confused. She even got up there, I even had to show her, like, yeah, this is making it look natural, it's helping it look better. So basically this is what I was doing. I was just literally going through the wig itself and parting it down the middle and making sure that it's a defined part throughout the head and on the sides and all that good stuff, because when you're wearing a wig, you do not want it to look like a wig. The whole point of wearing a wig is to make it be your natural hair look, and you don't want it to look bulky. You want it to have a natural hairline. You want it to have those nice baby edges. You don't want it to look too thin, and you definitely do not want it to look too bulky. So you need to take your time with your wigs. That's basically what it comes down to. Take the time to really get into your wig and customize it to make it for you and to where it works and looks great on your head. Okay, so after I plucked it and stuff, we just got right back into the wig itself. As you guys can see, that layer of styling gel of the got to be glued, it dried so well. So basically what I'm going to be doing is now I'm going to be going in with a little bit of mousse and just putting it over those layers of got to be glue styling gel and the glue itself, because when I put the mousse over it, it's going to reactivate the styling gel to where I'm not going to need to put any thing like another layer of glue on her head, basically, because the more layers of glue you add, the tougher it is on your hair, and just it's horrible. So for me, I like to use I like to use less layers of the got to be glue as possible. So I think the got to be glued itself, I only use 1 layer of that, and then the got to be glued styling gel, I believe I did use 2 layers of that, just because it works so fine for me. It makes everything last way longer. So that's just me. You can do it how you want, but that's just my preference. So after I put that mousse layer on, I'm just basically going in with my blow dryer now, and I'm blow drying around the surfaces of that got to be glued edge and the edges of her wig. So I do this blow dry for about 10 minutes, and what I basically like to do is I start off with low hot heat, and I do that for about 1 minute or like less than that. And then for the rest of the time, I do use high cool heat, just because the cool heat, it does, I don't know, for me, okay, I don't know how to explain this. So basically, when you have the warm heat on, it just reactivates the glue and things. It gets everything sticky and hot. And then when you apply it with that cool heat, it freezes everything to where it's now stuck, secure, and like really stuck. So that's what I learned. That's what I learned along the way, at least. Like using hot heat when you're trying to like melt down that frontal or whatever, it doesn't help. It really doesn't help. It just makes everything hot and moist. It could stick for a little bit, but everything's still going to be sticky and just not all that. So I like to use cool heat, because when I'm done with the blow drying, things are not sticky, things are not moist or hot. Everything is all cooled and leveled to a temperature that is just cool to work with. So now I'm cutting the extra excess lace off the front of her head, and basically what I'm doing is I'm cutting it in sections. The middle and the sides are all going to be separate, and then the cutting motion I do cut it in is zigzag, so it's like a up down kind of motion, but not to where you can literally see the zigzag pattern on her scalp, but to where when you cut your lace, it's not going to be that lace line. It's going to actually look natural, and the hair pieces are not just gonna, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Like when y'all just cut the little extra lace piece off exactly straight, and it be looking like a wig. Yeah, it look like a wig because you cutting it too straight. You need to do it in like a slow zigzag pattern that's really small and that is not really seeable, because that helps your wig also look natural. And as you guys can see on that side over there, it's starting to look natural on her scalp, and that's the look you really want. You don't want your wig to look like a wig. You don't want anybody to notice that you have on a wig. Now what I'm doing is I'm basically styling her edges. I'm just grabbing pieces. I'm grabbing pieces of the hair and a little bit of mousse, and as I'm doing that, I'm just combing her edges down and slicking it with my fingers. And that's just a motion that I'm going to keep doing over and over until I get the perfect edge that I want. Like the first time you're doing it, it's not going to be the way you want. You're going to have to work with the edge a few different times and a few different motions to get it to stick and get it to lay and get it into the position that you want it to be in. So when you're doing this, don't get upset if your edges are not coming out perfectly. Trust me, even at the end of this video, you guys can see like my edges aren't all that. They're good, but they're not top to the fleek. Oh my God, magnificent. I barely make it to where I'm doing edges, and I did a good job. Don't get me wrong. I did a great job, but always room for improvement and learning and things like that. So every time I do hair, it does help me learn new techniques and what I should and shouldn't do for the next time. And yeah. As you guys can see, this is how our edges turned out. It's not a really good close-up, but they turned out really good. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting that Love Me hairband for the edges around her edges to secure them. And then I'm going to be blow drying over that so her edges can be stuck and laid down and slayed. Boom. Okay, so I did skip this step, but she did ask for the side part, so I did end up parting it back to the side and giving her that side desire that she wanted. And then, yeah, so I took the band off and it did mess up my edges and how it laid, but that's perfectly fine because now everything is secured in place, so I can just go in with that gel and I'm going to re-slick everything and reposition all the edges to where everything is clean and everything is in the right spot, because I know right now it look crazy. Trust me, it's gonna look crazy, but everything is laid and everything is sleek to her scalp, and that's what I was going for basically. So I wasn't tripping on the edges not staying in formation. I was just worried about her wig itself staying in formation because, as you guys did see in the beginning of the video, she did cut her hair recently, so she didn't have any braids underneath anything. So the wig itself doesn't have anything really to secure itself to but her scalp. And then, yeah, so I wanted to make sure everything was on her scalp correctly and it stuck nice and secure and it wasn't lifting, because so I went in and fixed those edges again, as you guys are going to see at the end of the video. But that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm going in with the mousse and I'm repositioning her edges. So when you guys are doing your own installs and you put the band on and it messes up your edges, it is okay. Just go back in with the mousse and the light comb and reposition your edges and then let it air dry from there. Okay, and this is the ending. As you guys can see, the edges are good, but always room for improvement. That first big old edge is a big old swoop, and it could be a little smaller, but I just wanted to make sure it was a nice swoop. And yeah, I could have fixed it a little bit more. I know that for next time, like, I got to be more patient with my edges and keep trying and trying until that swoop gets right. So yep, that's for next time. But other than that, this is beautiful. I'm going to be showing you guys a close-up of the ending, but this is just how it's coming out towards the end, and you can see it getting more and more to a desired look.
He won't show up for the DNA test. Like, if it ain't your shorty, just show up then. Prove it ain't yours. So it gotta be his. He got about 7 baby mamas. Like, nigga.
So this is when I finished. I didn't really style it because I didn't have the tools and the curlers to give her the curls and everything that she wanted, but I did give her the look that she wanted. The edges were beautiful, as you guys can see. This is the right side, and then here is the left side. Perfect too. So yeah, when she did get home, she did get her own flat iron out and flat iron it. The end.